Welcome to lecture series on dynamics of machinery. Unit 1, balancing of rotating and reciprocating masses. Today we are going to discuss some of the important concepts of the balancing of the rotating and reciprocating masses. So very first point is types of forces acting on a machine component. There are two types of forces acting on a machine component. One is the static force, and another is the dynamic or inertia forces. So static force is the force whose magnitude does not change with respect to time. That is called as a static force. So static forces are nothing but weight of the components of the machine. Second one is a dynamic or inertia force. This force is the force whose magnitude is continuously changing with respect to time t. And mainly these dynamic or inertia forces are due to acceleration of the machine components. So dynamic force or inertia force, they are of a very large magnitude as compared to the static forces. So they are of a great concern in the balancing of masses. So this centrifugal force, that is called as a dynamic force here. So centrifugal force is calculated as a mr omega square, where m is the mass of the rotating part, r is nothing but the radius of rotation, and omega is the angular velocity with which this rotating mass is rotating. So centrifugal force, mr omega square, this force is acting radially in a radially outward direction. Centripetal force is directed towards the center of the rotation of the mass, and centrifugal force is acting in a radially outward direction, and it is proportional to angular velocity square. So at a high speed, this angular velocity is high. So this centrifugal force or dynamic force, here onwards it is dynamic force, is proportional to square of angular velocity. So this force is very large in magnitude as compared to the static force or static load. So it is of a great concern in a balancing. Then we'll try to understand what is the effect of this high dynamic force and why there is a need of balancing. So high dynamic force produces a hammering action on the machine parts. Also, it develops the vibration in the machine parts by loosening of the machine. It results into loosening of the machine part, and it set up the vibrations in the rotating components or the machine parts. Also, it has a tendency to lift the machine from the foundation, because this force, unbalanced force, or it is a dynamic force, or inertia force, or it is centrifugal force, this force has a tendency to lift the machine from the foundation. So to avoid such effects, hammering action, vibrations, tendency to lift the machine from the foundation, to avoid such effect, precise and proper balancing is essential. It is highly essential in high-speed applications such as electric motors, generators, turbines, aircrafts, machine tools. These are the applications where the speed of rotation is very high. So in such application, the dynamic force is of a very large magnitude, and to avoid the bad effects or ill effects of these unbalanced forces or dynamic forces on the machine, it is very much necessary to do the precise balancing of the rotating or reciprocating parts. So next is what is the definition of the balancing? So balancing is the process of correcting or eliminating, either partially or completely, the effects due to resultant inertia forces and the couples due to these forces. Balancing is the process of correcting and eliminating the effects of resultant inertia forces and couples due to inertia forces. That process is called as a balancing. So next is unbalanced system. If the CG of the mass of the system does not lie on the axis of rotation, then the system is called as unbalanced. So here we will take example. Suppose a shaft supported in a bearing at the two ends, and the shaft carries a rotor, and the CG of the rotor does not lie on the axis of rotation. If the CG is offset from the axis of rotation of the shaft, here in this case CG is offset by distance r. So this r is nothing but eccentricity or radius of rotation of this masses. If the CG of the mass of the system does not lie on the axis of rotation, then the such system is called as an unbalanced system. So here in the side view we can see that this mass is assumed to concentrate at the CG, and it is at a distance r, small r, from the center of rotation. So it exerts a centrifugal force Fc, and which is of magnitude mr omega square, where m is the mass of the rotating part, r is nothing but eccentricity, opposite distance between the axis of rotation and the CG of this rotating part. So that distance is r, and omega is the angular velocity. So this centrifugal force is, its magnitude is mr omega square, and it is acting in a radially outward direction. So this magnitude of the centrifugal force is proportional to omega square. So it is very large in magnitude. So for that purpose, the balancing is necessary to avoid the bad effects of this unbalanced force on the machine parts. Next is static and dynamic balancing. Static balancing, it is also called as a balancing. Here's force balancing. The resultant of all the dynamic forces or centrifugal forces acting on the system must be zero. This is a condition for the static balancing. Resultant of all the dynamic forces or centrifugal forces or unbalanced force, here onwards it is called as unbalanced force, must be equal to zero. This is the condition for the static balancing. So static balancing is called as a centrifugal force balancing. Centrifugal force balance होना चाहिए. Resultant of all centrifugal forces acting on the system must be equal to zero. This is called as a static balancing. Second one is dynamic balancing. For dynamic balancing, there are two conditions. Resultant of all dynamic forces or centrifugal forces acting on the system must be equal to zero. This is first condition for the dynamic balancing. So sigma summation of the dynamic forces must be equal to zero. And second is resultant couples due to all dynamic forces must be equal to zero. Couple is nothing but force into length, force into distance. It's called as a couple, or it is also called as a moment. So resultant couples due to all dynamic forces must be equal to zero. So in dynamic balancing, algebraic summation of dynamic forces must be equal to zero, and algebraic summation of the couples due to these dynamic forces must be equal to zero. I repeat, couple is nothing but force into distance. Is called as a couple. So algebraic summation of the couples due to dynamic forces must be equal to zero, and algebraic summation of the dynamic forces or centrifugal forces acting on the system must be equal to zero. These are the two important conditions for the dynamic balancing. So here onwards, we are mostly focusing on the dynamic balancing part. Problems are based on a dynamic balancing, not on a static balancing. So balancing is of two types: balancing of rotating masses, balancing of the rotating masses, and balancing of reciprocating masses. So in a balancing of rotating masses, again, balancing of rotating masses in single plane, in one plane, when the several masses are rotating in a one plane, vertical plane, then this comes under category of balancing of rotating masses rotating in a single plane. And another type of balancing of rotating masses is that when the several masses, they are rotating in a different planes. The planes of rotations are different. XY, XZ, YZ, ZX. These are the different planes of rotation of these masses. So there are two types of problem. One is a balancing of rotating masses in a single plane, and another is a balancing of rotating masses in a different planes. So mainly we are concentrating on this part, because problem of 9 or 10 marks may be asked on this part. Balancing of rotating masses in a different planes, not in a single plane. इस सिंगल प्लेन का 6 मार्क का या 5 मार्क का प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है. These problems are simple. Mainly we'll focus on a balancing of rotating masses in a different planes. So this is about rotating parts, balancing of rotating parts. In the second part, we'll focus on a balancing of reciprocating masses. In that, the primary forces and couple balancing, and secondary forces and secondary couples balancing. So this is the second part of this unit. Mainly we will focus on a first part, that is the balancing of rotating masses, and that too when the rotating masses are rotating in a different planes or several planes. So this is about the balancing concept. Now we'll discuss the first part, that is the balancing of masses rotating in the same plane. So here in the figure we'll see this is the axis of rotation O. We'll take a reference, that is a horizontal line as a reference, that is x-axis. So there are several masses. First mass is M1, whose radius of rotation is R1. What is the radius of rotation? The eccentricity between the axis of rotation and the CG of the mass. So there are several masses of magnitude M1, M2, M3 and M4. And their radius of rotations are R1, R2, R3 and R4 respectively. Radius of rotation is measured from O to CG of each mass. This offset distance or eccentric distance is called as the radius of rotation of the masses. And let these masses are of magnitude M1, M2, M3 and M4 respectively. Their radius of rotations are R1, R2, R3 and R4 respectively. And all these four masses, they are rotating in a same plane, one plane. All these masses are rotating in the same plane. And their angular positions are theta 1, theta 1. So theta 1 is the angle made by the position of the mass M1 with respect to horizontal line OX. OX से angle measure हो रहा है यहाँ तक theta 1. Similarly, angle made by the mass 2 from the horizontal line in the anticlockwise direction is theta 2. Likewise, theta 3 and theta 4. So theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, these are the angles made by these four masses, angle made by these four masses which are rotating in the one plane. ये masses एक ही plane में rotate हो रहे. Now here I have drawn a resultant centrifugal force, and this centrifugal force, angle made by this resultant centrifugal force is nothing but theta r. यहाँ से horizontal से ये angle है theta r. ये resultant force हम analytical method से पहले calculate करेंगे. बैलेंसिंग ऑफ मासेस के प्रॉब्लम्स में दो मेथड है, एक एनालिटिकल मेथड और दूसरा ग्राफिकल मेथड. दोनों मेथड से हम आंसर्स फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. इन एनालिटिकल मेथड वी हैव टू यूज द एनालिटिकल फॉर्मूलाज, theoretical formulas, and then we can calculate the resultant centrifugal force. We'll discuss it. So resultant centrifugal force FCR that we are calculating, also we are calculating theta r, magnitude of FCR we are calculating, and its direction means at how much angle it is acting with respect to horizontal line OX. And we know centrifugal force is always acting away from the center of rotation. Center of rotation वो है, यहाँ से always direction of centrifugal force is away from the centrifugal center of rotation or axis of rotation. तो ये FCR है, तो resultant unbalanced force इस डायरेक्शन में है, तो बैलेंसिंग फोर्स उतने ही मैग्नीट्यूड का अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में होगा. तो यहाँ पे थीटा आर मतलब रिजल्टेंट सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स का एंगल है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू OX. तो बैलेंसिंग मास का जो एंगल होगा उसमें 180 प्लस होगा. यहाँ से यहाँ तक ये थीटा आर है, उसमें 180 ऐड करेंगे तो ये बैलेंसिंग मास हमें अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में रखना होगा, रिजल्टेंट सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स के अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में रखना होगा. और रिजल्टेंट सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स का जितना मैग्नीट्यूड है उतना ही बैलेंसिंग फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड होगा, सिर्फ डायरेक्शन अपोजिट होगा. सो दैट the resultant centrifugal force is balanced by the balancing centrifugal force, and this balancing mass is mb and its radius of rotation is rb. So centrifugal force is calculated by product of mass into radius, and balancing force is also calculated by mb into rb, because omega, all the masses are rotating at same angular velocity. So omega square term get cancelled, and the centrifugal force here onwards is nothing but equal to product of mass into radius. Product of mass into radius is nothing but centrifugal force, because omega square term is common for all the masses rotating with same angular velocity omega. That's why omega square term gets cancelled out, and this here onwards this centrifugal force is equal to FCR is equal to product of mass into radius. Now we'll discuss the analytical method. Very first step is resolve the centrifugal forces acting on each mass along horizontal direction and vertical direction, and find their summation. So sigma fh is the summation of all the centrifugal forces in a horizontal direction. Sigma fh and sigma fv, these are the two components when the centrifugal force is resolved along horizontal and vertical direction. So here we can see sigma fh is equal to, here from the diagram you can see that the first force is fc1, that is m1 into r1. Second force is fc2, that is equal to m2 into r2. And third force is similarly third force is fc3 is equal to m3 into r3. And fourth mass is fc4, that is equal to m4 into r4. Here omega square term is cancelled out because all these masses are rotating with the same angular velocity, so it gets cancelled out, and the centrifugal forces are given by m1 r1, m2 r2, m3 r3, and m4 r4 respectively, acting on the four masses whose magnitudes are m1, m2, m3, m4, and their radii of rotations are r1, r2, r3, r4. So here angles made by the first mass is theta 1. So the centrifugal force is m1 r1 and its angle is theta 1. So its horizontal component is m1 r1 cos theta 1. Similarly for second mass, its angle is theta 2 with respect to horizontal line OX. So horizontal component of m2 r2 into cos theta 2. Similarly for third mass, m3 r3 into cos theta 3 and m4 r4 into cos theta 4. So horizontal component of the centrifugal force will be equal to sigma fh is equal to m1 r1 into cos theta 1 plus m2 r2 into cos theta 2 plus m3 r3 into cos theta 3 plus m4 r4 into cos theta 4. This is equation number 1 by taking algebraic summation of centrifugal forces along horizontal direction. This is the equation 1, sigma fh. Similarly, if we resolve these components along vertical direction, so force will be m1 r1 sin theta 1 plus m2 r2 into sin theta 2 plus m3 r3 into sin theta 3 plus m4 r4 into sin theta 4. This is equation number 2. So equation number 2 is sigma fv. Now we have to, in the second step, we have to calculate the resultant centrifugal force acting on this system. So FCR is nothing but resultant centrifugal force, and that is calculated as root of Fs square summation of Fs square plus sigma summation of Fv square. So calculate the resultant centrifugal force by this formula. FCR is equal to root of sigma Fh square plus sigma Fv square. This gives us the magnitude of the resultant centrifugal force. This gives the magnitude of the resultant centrifugal force. So resultant centrifugal force is shown here. This is the centrifugal force. Now we have to locate the angle, this angle. So this angle is calculated as, so third step is calculate the angle made by the resultant centrifugal force with the horizontal line OX. So this angle is calculated as tan of theta r is equal to summation of Fv upon summation of Fh. Tan theta r is equal to sigma Fv upon sigma Fh. So this gives the angle sigma Fh and sigma Fv we have calculated in the first step. So put these values here, and that is equal to tan theta. Sigma Fv upon sigma Fh is equal to tan of theta. Therefore theta r is equal to tan inverse of sigma Fv upon sigma Fh. So from this we get the angle made by the resultant centrifugal force with respect to horizontal line OX. So theta r is equal to tan inverse of sigma Fv upon sigma Fh. So this angle we get. So this resultant force is at this angle theta r. So theta r is nothing but this angle. This is the angle theta. यहाँ से इस एंगल पे ये रिजल्टेंट सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स आउटवर्ड डायरेक्शन में एक्ट हो रहा है, और उसका मैग्नीट्यूड हमने यहाँ पे सेकंड स्टेप में कैलकुलेट किया, और ये उसका एंगल है थर्ड स्टेप, एंगल इन डिग्रीज. नाउ फोर्थ स्टेप इज डिटरमाइन द बैलेंसिंग सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स. बैलेंसिंग सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स का मैग्नीट्यूड कितना होगा, जितना एफसीआर है उतना ही उसका मैग्नीट्यूड होगा. सो एफसीबी इज इक्वल टू एफसीआर. सो दिस only this balancing force direction is opposite. Magnitude is same as that of the resultant centrifugal force acting on the system. So balancing force FCB is equal to FCR, only its direction is opposite. So angle made by the balancing mass with respect to horizontal line theta B, that is theta B, angle made by the balancing mass theta B is equal to theta R plus 180 degree. 180 degree का addition हो जाता है उसमें, because directions are opposite. Resultant centrifugal force and balancing force, they are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. तो एक बार हमें ये थीटा आर मिल गया, ये रिजल्टेंट फोर्स का डायरेक्शन मिल गया, तो उसको एक्सटेंड करना है अपोजिट साइड में. एंड हियर द बैलेंसिंग मास इज ऑफ मैग्नीट्यूड mb and its radius of rotation is rb, and angle made by this balancing mass with respect to horizontal line is theta b. Here angle is shown, this angle is theta b. So theta b is equal to theta r, यहाँ तक theta r एंगल है, इसमें अगर 180 ऐड करेंगे तो theta b हमें मिलेगा. Theta b is equal to theta r plus 180 degree. So in this way we get this balancing force magnitude. Magnitude is equal to resultant centrifugal force or resultant dynamic force, and direction is opposite. Now in the fifth step determine the balancing mass. यहाँ पे balancing radius दिया जाएगा हमें, तो हम balancing mass हम calculate कर पाएंगे, because this resultant centrifugal force we have already calculated in the step 2. If balancing radius is given to us, then we can calculate the balancing mass. How much balancing mass will be needed in order to completely balance this system. तो यहाँ पे ये बैलेंसिंग मास का हमें मैग्नीट्यूड मिल जाएगा, और रेडियस ऑफ बैलेंसिंग मास हमें दिया जाएगा प्रॉब्लम में. तो बैलेंसिंग मास का मैग्नीट्यूड हमें कैलकुलेट करना है यहाँ पे, और उसका एंगल थीटा बी हमें कैलकुलेट करना है. सो इन दिस वे दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑन बैलेंसिंग ऑफ सेवरल मासेस रोटेटिंग इन वन प्लेन वी कैन सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम. ये प्रॉब्लम सिंपल है, इसमें दो मेथड है, ये एनालिटिकल मेथड है ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने का, और दूसरा मेथड है ग्राफिकल मेथड. तो ये प्रॉब्लम आसान है. तो ये एनालिटिकल मेथड हमने बैलेंसिंग ऑफ सेवरल मासेस रोटेटिंग इन सेम प्लेन, एक वन प्लेन में अगर सभी मासेस रोटेट हो रहे हैं तो उसका प्रोसीजर इस तरह से है. ये हमने एनालिटिकल मेथड डिस्कस किया. इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर वी विल डिस्कस द ग्राफिकल मेथड प्रॉब्लम, एंड मेनली विल फोकस ऑन बैलेंसिंग ऑफ सेवरल मासेस रोटेटिंग इन अ डिफरेंट प्लेन, नॉट इन अ वन प्लेन. तो ये प्रॉब्लम जो है सेकंड टाइप का प्रॉब्लम, बैलेंसिंग ऑफ सेवरल मासेस इन डिफरेंट प्लेन, ये इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉब्लम है, और उस पर ज़्यादा हमें फोकस करना है रादर दैन दिस बैलेंसिंग ऑफ सेवरल मासेस इन वन प्लेन. So thank you very much. See you in the next lecture on another important problem on balancing of several masses in different planes. Thank you.